Hey everyone, so today on the show I'm going to show you how to do Finn's makeup from Adventure Time. Before we get into today's video, why didn't you just hit that subscribe button? You're down there anyway, let's face it. And you probably already watched 2 or 3 of my videos, you're thinking about watching more, so just hit the subscribe button, then you'll know when I upload, so then you can watch as many as you want and you won't have to feel guilty, and you'll be supporting a struggling artist that needs food because they've been carb-free for 5 weeks. 5 weeks, no carbs, people. Okay, so we're going to start this with primer. We're going in with the Girl On Gold Flake primer. This primer is pretty expensive, but if you want to make sure that your foundation is not going to move for 10 hours, this is where it's at. I just dot it around my face and rub it in with my hand. I used to use a brush with this, but then one day I couldn't find my brush. And so I just rubbed it in with my hands and it worked just as well, if not better. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do this now. So a bit of a warning while I'm doing this stage, with cosplay makeup, there will come a point where you're not quite human anymore, but you're not quite cartoon character. And so you look like a toe. Just keep that in mind. I will look like a toe for about 30% of this. Next, we're going to go in with the Air Flash by Dior. This foundation will not give you much coverage at all. In fact, it's one of the most sheer foundations I've ever used. But what it does is, if you're not using a pore blurring primer, it will actually serve to blur your pores underneath your actual foundation. And the reason this step is important for this point is because name me one cartoon character that has prominent pores. One. I can't think of any. Then we're gonna go in with the Luminous Silk Foundation. So we could keep putting matte on matte on matte, but all that will do is serve to dry out our skin, which will not look good. So if we just use a bit of a luminous foundation, it will sort of give us that good middle ground. I used to use a pure matte foundation. It was the Power Fabric foundation by Armani, and my skin just looked so dry by the end of the day, and it was so full coverage that there was a difference between my neck and my body. It wasn't good. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but there's stubble coming through. I literally shaved an hour ago. This is the problem of being a dude. I need to get laser, but it's expensive. Next, we're going in with concealer. We're using the classic Tarte Shape Tape concealer. I am looking for a different concealer because this one's almost up. And I just kind of I don't know, I want to try something new. I've been using this for about 7 months now, and I think, sometimes you like using one thing, sometimes you want to try something new, and for concealer, I think it's one of those products where you can try lots of new different things. And if you can't find anything new, return to what you know. And I'll return to this if I can't find anything. So Finn has quite a flat face. So what we're going to do for our concealer is extend it right down the side of our nose. And then where I would normally stop this triangle here like this, we're actually going to extend it down to meet onto our Cupid's bow. And then we'll fill in that area last. The reason we do this is because it will help to elevate this middle part of our face, giving us good cheekbone definition and all of that good stuff, while also giving us a flat face because so much of our face will be covered. And then I also do the higher points of my face as well. And now I just leave this to set. So how are you guys doing? I've got a drink right here today. Today we're drinking Shez Red Bull. It's very good. I know I just said Shez instead of Shay. So I'm going to ignore that I mispronounced that and just start blending out. For the longest time I was just doing this streak down the middle of my nose, but because I blend out so harsh, it didn't make much sense to do, so I just kind of stopped, and now I just put a slight shadow in the middle of my nose, and now I just contour and it looks just fine. I just realized I didn't say how long I left this to set for. I leave it to set for about 5 minutes. I just play a song normally and just jam out to that. I didn't today because my phone's all the way over there. You can't see, but this room's pretty big. So I couldn't be bothered to go up and get it, so I sat here in silence, just pondering to my thoughts. And some people would find that sad, but I'm comfortable with doing that because I think you should always try and be comfortable with yourself and try and become good company for yourself, which I am, and some people find that weird, and I just say I know myself better than they know themselves. Now we're fully blended out, we're going to go in with the Beauty Bakery Flower Setting Powder and just kind of like bake for a little bit. I don't actually bake for too long because, controversial opinion, I think it doesn't actually make that much of a difference if you're really pale like me. It just can't. Like, you're pale, the concealer's going to get you as light as you can go without you just turning flat out white, and powder that's got a slight yellow tint to it, like the Beauty Bakery one, is not going to turn you flat out white. So you might as well just not bake. That being said, even though I don't bake, I really like this powder because it's really, really finely milled. And it does make a slight difference. I've used setting powders where I'm just flat out too pale for. They just look like I've set with like MAC Studio Fix powder or something. Or MAC Fix Plus, whatever the powder from MAC is. It looks like I've just set with that. This I actually get something from. And so just like with the concealer, we're gonna blend out this middle part last. And when I blend out, I brush upwards so we can get some coverage in these areas where we didn't put powder. And that just helps these areas set. I do brush out like the little mustache area at this point, just because I've noticed if you don't do it along with this bottom half of the face, it can look like you've got a slight 5 o'clock shadow. Not always, but it can do. And then we just sweep up. Always sweep up, never sweep down. By this point, there'll be a lot of excess on the neck, so I just kind of swirl around the neck to set everything there. And now everything's set, we're fully in foot mode, so let's try and bring some humanity back to the face before we start an eyeshadow. For contouring, we're gonna go in with the Shade and Light palette by Kat Von D. And we just wanna take like a really, really thin brush. We don't need anything too big. Look, Finn doesn't have like massively contoured cheeks or anything, but because he is like a 2D playing cartoon, I guess you could say we're gonna kind of go for a middle ground between how he actually looks and sexy anime boy. We're exclusively gonna be using this lightest color because I'm too pale for the other two. We're going to start by just going along the very, very tippy top of the nose. And I really don't take it far down anymore. I used to take it all the way down, but I just don't need to. I'm not saying like I've got a particularly thin nose, I don't, but I like my nose, so I just don't bother anymore. And just to help it blend in with the rest of our nose bridge, we're going to go in with this lighter colour and just blend downwards. Just to help marry everything together. The same with the middle here. And that's the nose contour done. I remember I used to see nose contour as like this huge deal, and if you weren't doing nose contour, you weren't cosplaying, and now I'm just like, I guess it can be there. Next, we're going to go in with this same colour with a Morphe M438. Just lightly go in on the cheeks. And then just dust that off and go in on the upper part of the cheekbone here with a lighter colour. Then we're going to take a big fluffy brush and just kind of help that marry together. Then finally, we're gonna go in with the same dark color that we've been using this whole time and just chisel out our jawline a bit. And once again, we're going in with the lighter color and just pressing it in along here. And we're gonna go with the big fluffy brush again, once again, to just forcibly marry all of this together. Okay, we're looking at least 10% less foot-like, so I think it's safe to start on eyeshadow. The eyeshadow palette we're going to be using is the White Peach palette from Too Faced. If you are new to cosplay and you want to know where you should start with eyeshadows for cosplay, this is it. Like, this is everything you need for any cosplay look in one palette. It's insane. I love this palette. It's the best investment I've ever made. This is my second one. You can see where my thumb went into this black color, and I was really upset for a few days. I was like, no! But before we get into eyeshadow, we're going to prime the eyes with Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I use the anti-aging one for cosplay just because I used to use face tapes for cosplay. I don't do that anymore. But because I used to use face tapes, I just found that this one was the most gentle on my eyes, and it really helped to, like, basically it stopped there being much damage from me using face tapes. I stopped because my sister, who does things like Botox and fillers, and she just generally is good with skin. She does that for a living. She actually showed me the effects that the tapes were having on my face. Like, she could pinch my skin and be like, look, this is what using the tapes has done to your skin. And she was able to do this procedure called fibroblast to help reverse it. And I've got a few more fibroblast procedures, but it was very painful. And it was like, okay, I'm not using those tapes anymore. So if you are a cosplayer that uses face tapes, I advise against it. So we're gonna start this look by going into Peach Cream, which is like this really, really nice white color. And we are literally gonna pack that everywhere. We're gonna pack it everywhere so much that people are gonna be like, wow, his eye's packed with peach cream. And then their friend will be like, how did you know it was peach cream? It just looks like white eyeshadow. And then it will turn out I'm actually at the Too Faced office, and that's how they knew. I've never been to the Too Faced office in my life. But if they ever want to invite me, I would go, because like Too Faced is like my favorite makeup company. I'm gonna throw it out there. I love Too Faced. I love their stuff. I love their branding. It's great. So now that that is well and truly packed on, we're gonna take this fuzzy color and go right into the crease. And the other eye, and don't worry too much about it being seamless at this point. We will be going into it later, trying to fix everything, trying to blend everything out. So don't worry too much. We've got a whole lot of life to live, and we can't spend much of it worrying about everything being seamless. Next, we're going to go into Sweet Fig, which is like this really dark plummy color, I guess you could say. And we're just going to place this in our outer V. Then we're going to take the color packing brush we used for Peach Cream and go in with Peach Suede and just pack that everywhere else that's on the lid. So meet it up with where the dark colors come into play. And then we're just going to blend these together from this point. Don't worry about too much about the brow bone at this point. We're going to blend that in a second. It will look way less messy in a second. We're going to take Peach Smoothie and bring that from where this color starts here. We're just going to help blend that all out. And bring it right down to the under eye. The reason I use Peach Smoothie for this in particular is just because it's like such a human color while being so animated, and I love it. It's like you could find it on a person, but you could definitely find it on a cartoon character. Like, I know for sure Too Faced were not going for a cosplay palette when they made this, because that's just not their aesthetic, but they did it. And then finally, we're going to take peach cream again and just blend everything that's in the brow bone out. Just to help everything, once again, forcibly marry together. You have no choice. Become friends, play in the pool, enter a union. And this step is completely optional, but I'm going to take some setting spray, spray a pencil brush, and apparently my entire mirror. Okay, that was smart. And go in with peach ice just on the inner corner. Here. And that will just help to open up our eyes a bit more. It won't be as prominent when I put eyeliner on, but it's there, and that's the important thing. It's trying, just like you are, Susan. Next, we're gonna go in with a nude eyeliner. This is actually a lip liner. Full disclosure, this is actually a lip liner. It works fine on the eyes, just so long as you haven't used it on the lips before. So that's the case here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go in on the lower waterline. Now I will state, this step is optional. I do it because I have very, very red waterlines, like very red. So it just helps to like cover that up and such. Next we're going in with eyeliner. I'm gonna try and get as much of my eyeliner process on camera, but I kind of have to get very close to my mirror, so we'll see how that goes. For Finn, we're not doing a winged line. You can if you want to. I don't feel the need. If I mess up on this eye, it will become a winged line. So we'll see how this goes, but ideally no wing. So whenever I do a cosplay makeup tutorial, I get this comment from a bunch of younger males, normally, that don't really understand makeup. The reason we're putting on eyeliner isn't because Finn wears eyeliner, it's because we want to emulate that sort of cartoony rounded eyes, like, you know, the outside of eyes in cartoons is a black circle. We can't get that in real life, so we use eyeliner to sort of emulate that. So eyeliner is done. Very happy about that. So next we're going to move on to the Max Factor Masterpiece Mascara. I really like this mascara, and every time it dries up before I get to finish it, I get very sad. For eyebrows, we're going to go in with the Kat Von D 24-Hour Super Brow in the color Blonde. I'm going to be honest, this is a new product for me, but my previous eyebrow products just ran out, so we're just sort of winging it with this one and hoping for the best. Why does it match my own eyebrows perfectly, but I don't have blonde hair? My hair is black. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. For this part, we can kind of be a bit creative because I doubt if Finn was real, he would have twigs for eyebrows. So, you know, be creative. I would also say, like, don't worry about eyebrows being perfect. There's all of this, like, eyebrows must be perfect pressure these days, and I'm just like, eyebrows aren't perfect. Yeah, fill them in so they're a bit more, like, prominent and not wispy looking. But to me, it always looks really weird when people are wandering around with, like, perfect eyebrows, and I'm just like, eyebrows don't look like that. If you like the way that looks, cool, but eyebrows don't look like that. Next, we're going to go in with a liquid lip from Jeffree Star Cosmetics in the colour Butt Naked.
I'm a buff baby that can dance like a man. I can shake my fanny, I can shake my can.
Okay, so if you see a difference, that's because there is. I wasn't really a fan of how that was looking, so I quickly just ran upstairs and took off the lip color and fixed my foundation in that area. We're gonna try a different lip technique, I guess. Instead of using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics lip color, we're gonna go straight in with the Too Faced lip gloss. Same color. Okay, there. This is a lot better. The problem before is that it said butt naked, but it was too orange to be my butt naked. That ain't my butt. This is someone else's butt. My butt is... It's very pale. It's not this color. Next, we're gonna go in with the Jeffree Star Cosmetics highlighter in the shade Princess Cut, and using a Morphe M510 brush, we're just gonna apply this to the cheekbones. For some reason, highlighter is everyone's favorite stage these days, and I'm just like, I mean, it's cute, but it's there, and I'm also gonna apply just a bit of it to the bridge of the nose and the chin. Finally, we're gonna go in with some Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray and just set all of this in place. So now that that's done, I'm gonna go get my wig on and we can see how this all comes together. And this is the completed look. I had a lot of fun making this look. It's slightly different to what I would normally do for like an anime character, and it's slightly different to what I would do for a regular cartoon character. It's somewhere in the middle. Normally for this look I would have in contact lenses, like very blue contact lenses, because sometimes in certain lights my eyes are green, sometimes they're blue, they're like, you know, in that weird in-between area. So just keep that in mind. I will have a full list of products that I used in this video down below. I am not sponsored by any of the companies that I used during this video. All of the products I used are just because I like them, so keep that in mind. Finally, I don't know if I'm actually going to include this part in this video, but I just want to give a huge shout out to anyone that worked on Adventure Time over the years. I don't know if any of you will be watching this, but Adventure Time came into my life during a period that wasn't great. I was in quite an abusive relationship at the time. In fact, looking back at the relationship, you could say it was illegal. I was too young to be in that relationship, I'll put it like that. And yeah, it was emotionally abusive and manipulative, and I was aware of that at the time, but I couldn't get out. And so Adventure Time is what I would use as my escape, and that was the series, the comics, everything. And so Adventure Time, for me, meant a lot on an emotional level. And so to see it end, it means a lot to me to see it continue. Like, I'll continue to read the comics because comics are doing like a season 11 thing, but to see the show end, it kind of hit me, but I just want to say thank you to everyone that worked on the show, regardless of the capacity that you worked on the show. I just want to say thank you for creating something that helped me so much. It just meant a lot. So thank you. But for now, that is it for today. So why don't you like click here to see another one of my videos? And if you didn't subscribe already, just hit that subscribe button and that like button. It's right there. It's a thumbs up. I like thumbs up. You like thumbs up. So you might as well click it, because if you click it, then you feel happy. And if you don't click it, you're sad. My chair just almost fell over.